How much will it cost to have this contract reviewed? As an entertainment lawyer for Black creatives and entrepreneurs, this is one of the most frequently asked questions that I receive from clients. And in answering this question, I always say, well, it depends, because it really does. Some of the factors that come into play are things like what type of contract review do you need, and how long will it take the attorney to review that contract? If you haven't already, I strongly encourage you to go back and watch my last two YouTube videos. In the first one, I talk about the 4 most common types of contract review. And in the second, I talk about the timeline and the expectations for how long it takes to get a contract reviewed. Those 2 videos will help to kind of lay the foundation for what I'm going to be talking about in this video today. Hi, I'm Casey, and in this video, I'm going to talk about the cost of contract review and the 3 most common fee structures for contract review. Now, before we dive into the common fee structures for contract review, when you think about how much it costs to have a contract review, you have to think about where the attorney is located, their years of experience, and their experience within the specific industry for the type of contract that you need to have reviewed. These are all things that are going to factor in that attorney's pricing. Average pricing for attorneys can be anywhere from $150 an hour to $500 an hour, or greatly beyond $500 an hour if that attorney is extremely experienced. So as you can imagine, if you find an attorney who's been practicing law, say for 2 years, their pricing is going to be a lot different from an attorney who's been practicing law for 15 years. And that's because the attorney who's been practicing for 15 years has a lot more experience. They're typically going to be a lot more efficient in what it is that they're doing. And so these are things that come into play with that pricing. Now, I also mentioned location. So if you have an attorney who's licensed, say in New York, for instance, they're going to charge more than an attorney located in Alabama. And that's just simply because cost of living in these different areas, things are going to be more expensive in New York, right? And so these are things that come into play. Now, when you're doing your research, and I strongly encourage you to do your research, you can look at various state bar locations. So every state has a website for attorneys and for the public to look up information about attorneys. And so you can go to these state bar websites and get an average range of how much attorneys in your state charge. And so this will help you get an idea of whether you're going to be kind of closer on the 150 range or the $500 an hour range when you start looking for attorneys and understanding their levels of expertise and how much they may charge for a contract review. Now, the 3 most common types of fee structures. The first one is hourly rate. So hourly rate, as the name suggests, is simply the attorney charging by the hour, their hourly rate. So say for instance, you find an attorney who charges $400 an hour and it takes them 3 hours to review your contract. That's going to be $1,200. So as you can imagine, an hourly rate structure can be largely unpredictable and it can become extremely costly. And so some attorneys still use this structure, and in some scenarios, it's necessary to use this structure because it can be difficult to determine how long something's going to take. So a perfect example of when an attorney might charge by the hour, maybe if they are renegotiating a contract for you. So maybe you previously signed a contract with another party, things aren't going well in the relationship, or you simply like to negotiate new terms. It's not always clear how the other party is going to respond and if they're even going to be open to those renegotiations. So that's the type of scenario where an attorney may say, I'm gonna have to charge you my hourly rate simply because I don't know how long this is going to take. And some attorneys, this is simply their fee structure. It's how they work and how they operate. So that is the first most common type of fee structure. The second is flat fee. So flat fee allows for a lot more predictability in the pricing. So unlike an hourly rate, the attorney is not going to just, give you your hourly rate, start reviewing the contract, and then send you an invoice. they're gonna let you know upfront what the price is going to be. So this is a fixed rate type of pricing. So you know exactly upfront how much you're paying. There's no unexpected fees or invoices coming up later. It's one set fee and you know exactly how much that's gonna cost. So obviously this is a great option and it's a great solution, especially for a lot of entrepreneurs, because it allows you to set a budget and stay within budget for a specific type of contract review. Now, something important though to understand when it comes to flat fee pricing for contract review is that an attorney's price for each contract will be different. So say for instance, you come to me to review a contract for you and I quote you $1,500. That pricing is not going to be the same price for every contract that you need to have reviewed. So say for instance, you're hiring a new contractor in your business and you like to have an attorney review that contract for you. The price for something like that versus say you're doing a corporate training, a speaking engagement where you are working with a large company, you're preparing trainings, there's materials, a lot of intellectual property is going to be involved. The pricing for that type of contract review and reviewing the hiring of a new contractor in your business is not going to be the same. So while the flat fee pricing is a great type of fee arrangement, you do have to understand that an attorney's price for one contract is not going to be that attorney's price for every contract that you need to have reviewed. Now, the third type of fee structure for contract review is retainer or subscription fee. And so this is a flat fee that's paid on a recurring basis. This is an excellent option if you are the type of entrepreneur or creative who regularly needs contracts reviewed. So this allows you to avoid having to go to the attorney each and every time you need a contract reviewed and ask for the new pricing. It avoids you having to enter into a new engagement letter for each contract that you need to have reviewed for an attorney. And so these types of structures are really great if you operate within a specific industry and you have the same types of contracts that you need reviewed all the time. So a perfect example of this is at my law firm, C. Handy Law. We work with a lot of talent agencies and they represent largely social media influencers. And so the contracts that they mostly need reviewed on a regular basis are brand collaboration contracts. And so it's easy for us and it's great for our clients because we're able to charge them just a set fee each month to go and review those brand collaboration contracts. And so each time they need a new contract reviewed, we're not saying, hey, here's the price for this one. It's different from the one last week. No, it's one set price. No new contract is needed to be signed each and every time. And it allows for us to have a more fluid and more efficient working relationship for the contracts they need moving forward on a regular basis each and every month. So I hope this video was helpful for you in understanding how much it costs to have a contract reviewed. Remember, it's largely going to depend on an attorney's experience, their location, and their knowledge with the specific contract that you need to have reviewed. And also remember that there are different types of fee structures. So these three I've talked about are the most common. So when you're looking for an attorney to review a contract for you, make sure you understand which fee structure they're going to be following and exactly how much you're going to be charged for that contract review service. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, be sure to subscribe and like this YouTube channel so that you can get notified when I release new videos.